June 8, 1977, Atlanta, Georgia. A baby boy is born to Donda and Ray West. His name is Kanye West. Ray was a Black Panther turned photojournalist, Donda an English professor. But by the time Kanye was just 3 years old, their marriage had ended. His father stayed in Atlanta, while Donda took her son north, to the city of Chicago, a place that was loud, raw, and unforgiving, a city that raised hustlers and broke dreamers. But for Kanye, it became the forge. As a child, he was curious, creative, restless. He sketched, he wrote poetry, he dabbled in music, anything that let him turn thought into art. By the time he was a teenager, he was producing beats on second-hand equipment, chopping up soul records into something new, something no one had quite heard before.
Donda saw it all. She knew her son was destined for something greater. So when Kanye said he wanted to drop out of college to pursue music full-time, she didn't just allow it, she encouraged it. That decision earned him the nickname the College Dropout, long before it became the title of his debut album. But chasing greatness isn't the same as catching it. And in the early years, Kanye's vision ran far ahead of his recognition. He was broke. He was underestimated. He was told time and again that he wasn't cut out to be a rapper, that he should stick to producing, that he didn't have the voice, the presence, the look. And yet, behind closed doors, Kanye was building. Every beat, every verse, every demo tape, he was sharpening himself into something undeniable.
By the late 1990s, Kanye had carved out a small lane as a producer. His sound was unique, soul samples sped up into chipmunk-pitched vocals layered over hard-hitting drums. It wasn't just beats, it was a signature. Eventually, his talent caught the ear of Rockefeller Records. Suddenly, Kanye was in the studio with Jay-Z, contributing to one of the most iconic hip-hop albums of all time, The Blueprint. His fingerprints were all over tracks like Izzo, Hova, and Heart of the City. Industry insiders were impressed, but there was still one problem. Nobody wanted Kanye, the rapper. To them, he was just the producer, the guy behind the boards. And no matter how many times he pushed his demos, no one took him seriously as an artist. Then came the night that nearly killed him. October 23, 2002. Kanye had been working late in Los Angeles. Driving home around 3 in the morning, he fell asleep at the wheel. His car slammed headfirst into another vehicle. The impact shattered his jaw in 3 places. For most people, that would have been the end. But for Kanye, it became the beginning. Just weeks after the accident, with his mouth wired shut, he stepped into a recording booth. He rapped his way through the pain, his voice muffled, his words spilling through clenched teeth. The track was called Through the Wire, and it changed everything. In 2004, Kanye West finally had the world's attention. His debut album, The College Dropout, wasn't just successful, it was revolutionary. At a time when rap was dominated by gangsta bravado and materialism, Kanye brought something different. He rapped about insecurities, faith, family, and the struggles of chasing dreams. He made it okay to be vulnerable. He made it okay to be different. The album went triple platinum, winning him critical acclaim and commercial success. Suddenly, the kid from Chicago who nobody believed in had become hip-hop's most unlikely new star. But Kanye wasn't satisfied. He never was. His follow-up, Late Registration, pushed boundaries even further. Orchestras, experimental beats, big ideas. Then came Graduation, which went head-to-head with 50 Cent in a sales battle that became a cultural event. When Kanye outsold him, it signaled a shift.
Hip-hop was no longer just about street credibility. It was about artistry. To many, Kanye West was a genius, a visionary, a man who was reshaping not just rap, but music itself. But with every new level of success, something else was growing too. His ego, his hunger for recognition, his obsession with control. And soon, that obsession would spill out in ways no one could ignore.
By the mid-2000s, Kanye West wasn't just an artist. He was a phenomenon. Awards, chart-topping singles, fashion influence, he had it all. But with that success came something darker, a need to dominate every room he walked into. At first, it was small things, rants during interviews, clashes with journalists, moments where Kanye seemed unable to let go of the spotlight. But in 2009, the world saw it in its rawest form, the MTV Video Music Awards. Taylor Swift had just won Best Female Video. As the 19-year-old stood on stage, clutching her award and thanking her fans, Kanye stormed out of the audience. He grabbed the microphone and uttered words that would echo for years. November 2007. Kanye West was at the top of the world. But just as his career was reaching new heights, his personal life was about to shatter. His mother, Donda West, the woman who had raised him, defended him, believed in him when no one else did, underwent cosmetic surgery in Los Angeles. The procedure should have been routine, but complications followed. Within 24 hours, Donda was gone. To Kanye, it wasn't just a loss. It was the loss. His mother wasn't just his parent. She was his anchor, his guiding force. She had supported him when others doubted, pushed him forward when others held him back. And now, without warning, she was ripped away.
"Oh, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time." The audience gasped. Taylor froze. Beyoncé herself looked horrified. In a single moment, Kanye went from musical genius to cultural villain. Headlines branded him arrogant, unstable, out of control. And yet, this was only the beginning. Because when Kanye felt attacked, when the world turned on him, he didn't shrink, he doubled down. Every insult became fuel, every controversy a stage. But even as the media painted him as the bad guy, something else was happening in his personal life, something that would change him forever, and not for the better.
Friends say Kanye was never the same. His music reflected the pain. 808s and Heartbreak was a haunting, cold, emotional record, filled with grief and despair. The auto-tuned wails, the minimal beats, it was a man crying through his art. At the time, critics didn't understand it. Years later, people would call it one of his most influential works, laying the foundation for a new era of hip-hop. But while the music soared, Kanye himself sank deeper into chaos. He spiraled through breakdowns, public rants, and reckless decisions. The pain of losing Donda never left him. It haunted him in interviews and lyrics, even in the way he carried himself. And in the years that followed, Kanye searched desperately for something or someone to fill that void. That search would lead him into the brightest and most toxic spotlight of all.
But beneath the glamour, cracks were forming.
Kanye's obsession with control clashed with Kim's carefully crafted image. His public rants grew louder. His political statements, wild, unfiltered, often shocking, began to dominate headlines. And the pressure of constant cameras, constant scrutiny, began to eat away at their marriage. By the late 2010s, their relationship was crumbling. Kim filed for divorce in 2021, citing irreconcilable differences. To Kanye, it was another betrayal, another abandonment,
another piece of his world ripped away. And once again, he turned that pain into spectacle, lashing out on social media, targeting Kim's new relationships, airing private family struggles in public. Millions watched in fascination, horror, and disbelief. But while his personal life unraveled, something else was happening. His music, his fashion, even his politics were taking him further and further into controversy. In 2020, he went further, announcing his run for President of the United States. What should have been a bold political statement quickly unraveled into spectacle. Tearful campaign speeches, incoherent interviews, and erratic Twitter storms painted a picture of a man unraveling before the world's eyes. But the most devastating blow came in 2022. After making a series of anti-Semitic comments online and in interviews, Kanye's world collapsed almost overnight. Adidas, Balenciaga, Gap, his biggest partnerships vanished within days. Billion-dollar deals were gone. His net worth plummeted. The man once hailed as a visionary found himself branded a pariah. For the first time in decades, Kanye West seemed untouchable. Not in the way he wanted, but in the way he feared.
By the late 2010s, Kanye West was no longer just a musician. He was a brand, a movement, a headline machine. But with every headline, the line between genius and self-destruction blurred. In 2016, on his St. Pablo tour, Kanye shocked fans when he suddenly cut concerts short, going on bizarre rants about politics, the music industry, and even his own friends. Days later, he was hospitalized for exhaustion, though many whispered it was something deeper. Then came 2018. Wearing a red "Make America Great Again" hat, Kanye openly embraced Donald Trump. It was a move that split his fan base in half. Some saw it as rebellion, others saw it as betrayal. But Kanye didn't care. He loved the chaos, the attention, the power of defying expectations. Today, Kanye West is more than a musician. He's a cultural paradox, a man who reshaped the sound of an entire generation, yet nearly destroyed his own empire with words that could not be taken back. To his supporters, he's still the genius who gave us the college dropout, the visionary behind My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, the innovator who turned sneakers into a global phenomenon. To them, his mistakes are part of his complexity, a flawed artist fighting demons in the public eye. To his critics, he's the cautionary tale, proof that unchecked ego and power can consume even the brightest stars. They see him as a man who lost touch with reality, who burned bridges so recklessly that even his brilliance couldn't save him. After years of grief and turbulence, Kanye found himself drawn into a world that matched his own hunger for attention. Enter Kim Kardashian. When they went public in 2012, the reaction was instant. Some called it a publicity stunt. Others said it was destiny. But for Kanye, Kim represented more than just love. She represented empire. Together, they were unstoppable. The rapper and the reality queen. Art and celebrity fused into one. Their wedding in 2014 wasn't just a ceremony, it was a spectacle. Florence, Italy, designer gowns, celebrity guests, paparazzi swarming the streets. It was less about vows and more about power, and Kanye reveled in it.